Yes. I'll actually even bring that brightness up a little bit. I know I'm still new with Lemus Construction type of things. I still wanted to kind of like what Lemus Construction does, what my role is with the company kind of thing, and then just a couple little items that we kind of get involved with for who are good leads for me, who are these people that I'm trying to reach out to, and kind of a little more of our process type of thing. So Lemus Construction, 30 years in the business, had been working on residential initially, and then about in 2007 switched over to very specifically multifamily and commercial properties. Multifamily being like townhome communities, a lot of HOA and COA kind of conversations that we have with board members to develop these remodeling and renovation programs. And it's a very lucrative business, but at the same time, it's very slow to how many conversations you have. So an HOA organization might have a project management group that actually deals and handles all the maintenance for their community, but they might not. And so we sometimes speak to HOA boards directly. Sometimes we deal with property management groups directly, and we have those conversations to get the process started, how many homes, how many units we're actually doing, and what type of items we're doing. So the services that we often do is roofing, gutters, siding, windows, doors, the fences that are in between the dividers that go in between the units, concrete work, both pouring and demolition, and all of those little items that show up. So like the lighting fixtures that'll be on the outside of the building, any little post and materials. We'll do double deck size ones where it's like two decks stacked on top of each other, or single deck items for different properties, porticos. And then we also obviously worry a lot about water drainage, both from the roof, but then also as much as we can do with the gutters, runoff type of thing, so that's not leaking into the properties.
So you don't work with residentials?
We do for Lemus Remodeling. So this 2 years ago, what they wanted to do is get back into the residential world. So the way that we do our Lemus Remodeling setup is it's still under the Lemus name and the Lemus brand, but it's more of a franchise style. So Chris and Katie out of PA, they were the first ones to jump in on this. We handle their marketing. We provide them with a budget of certain aspects, and we kind of showcase, here's the size of the team that you would need, here's how many leads you need to generate, here's how many jobs and what your revenue goals. And we set up a lot of the financial and marketing aspects for them so that they can go out and be the salesperson and be the hands-on construction team. So
if we see somebody needs a deck either built or redone,
yep,
that's something you guys could do.
Correct, yeah. It's all the renovation and it's all the exterior work. I know from Robert that left type of thing, he hit us up and it was like all interior work. And I'm like, no, we don't deal with the drywall in that way. You had I think a property had a flood or something like that. It was like that was kind of outside of the realm of where we would go. But obviously,
exterior.
All exterior stuff, yeah. So,
do you have a limit of some of these communities are older?
Yeah.
And some of them are mid and some of them are brand new. Do you have, like Florence Tollgate is the crap of the crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to work in there.
Okay.
But if the board came to you and said, we want to redo the whole roof.
Yeah.
Do you have like, well...
Is it, are you saying like it's a historic kind of thing? Because we just actually did a commercial one that was a historic setup, so it's just bad looking.
Bad maintenance.
We would make recommendations. I mean, we're not trying to sit there and make the sale day one by any means. This is kind of, for those big projects, we got to sit down with a lot of people. We sit down with engineers, architects, like, does this make sense? And if we redid this, is it just the roof, or does the whole structure of the roof have to be redone, or whatever type of framing work? And that would be a group before us coming in to make sure that that's structurally sound.
Okay, so you could go in and say, oh, I just want the roof redone, and by looking at it, you go, no, you need more, and you could...
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because when we start working on a property, a lot of the times we'll also, because we're removing plywood, we're able to get into the attics. And so we do an inspection beforehand. A lot of the times it's ventilation stuff where when these properties were built 25, 35 years ago, it was just a different method of, it used to be seal the house. Now it's more your house has to breathe. And it's because all the moisture that gets built up in the attic. So we'll go in, we'll check insulation, we'll make sure that there's not rot or anything of that nature or mold development. And if there is, we address it, we make them aware of it, but we're not the people that come in and handle it. We'll seal back up the roof, we'll keep it prepped and get it going so that there's never an open roof area or anything like that, should there be bad weather or anything like that. But it is one of those things where we're not going to come in and fix that. We just make them aware. We'll replace that immediate insulation so that it doesn't get much worse, but it needs to be addressed by another group. We make the HOA aware, the engineer aware, anyone else that's involved in that process. So, yep.
Do you subcontract?
No. So for Lemus Construction, we don't subcontract. So we have like 14 project managers, and I think we're still looking for 2 more. And these are project managers that are specifically, they have their own crews, they work directly for us, they get their paycheck, and they specialize in whether it's roofing or windows or siding. So depending on what the scope of the work is, we're going to have those project managers on site each day. Any crew members that are working with them and under them, they are there for making sure they're putting everything in right, making sure we're following all the code and qualifications that need to happen. But they all work for Lemus Construction, yes.
What do you do in the residential? I understand the commercial.
Sure.
In the residential, what do you do? I need to understand.
So same as Lemus Construction. So same as the commercial sector, the residential stuff. It is windows, doors, decks, roofing, siding. We've done a lot of smaller piece work. So like, I don't know why, but we've had about like 17 jobs since the beginning of the year that are just front doors being replaced in the Bucks County, Montgomery County, Burlington County area. So that just seems to be something that people want to freshen up their house, the look of it. Front doors are a big one that we've been doing a lot of. We'll come in and do replacement on bay windows or like a full window. We're not replacing the individual, like if you just had a broken window and you just wanted to replace the glass, we're not doing the glass. We're doing the frame, replacing the window, taking it out. If it was a leak, if it's just old, a little drafty, that's what we're doing.
How about additions?
We don't do additions. That would be a new build material type of stuff. So we only think more renovation in our world. It's just exterior renovations.
Concrete flat work.
We do concrete flat work, yes, yeah.
So like I know my pole barn, I have a lead to, I could have that, have you guys make a good price.
We probably wouldn't do your floor base, but if you were doing the patio outside, like we would do that type of exterior. So not the cement that you're building on. I'm sorry, what?
Why are they so definite that they don't go inside the four walls?
I think there's just a difference of how much weight that you're going to be putting on that material, and that's just a different style of what you need to do. Because if you're putting up a new framework, you've got to put in when you're putting in the steel pieces in to hold the wood and hold all that water moisture. That's all stuff that you got to be a little more trained on. Just it's a little different as far as what they're trained on. Our guys have to do like 50 hours each year with GAF and Certainty, 2 of the roofing groups, to make sure that they're putting in their materials properly. So that's 100 hours they're doing on training on that. The siding group, I think, has to do like 30 hours each year, just remembering and seeing, hey, here's the new way we're doing it. Little things like we're using 4 nails instead of 6 nails, or we're using tacks instead of staples. These are all minor things that change that for most people you wouldn't notice. But yeah, like they've switched over where now you have to use tacks for installing GAF and Certainty underlayment, just because if you're walking on the material with the staples, it can tear, and therefore it voids the warranty. So you'll still see people using staples, but you're probably not getting the warranty at that point. And you have that option. You can say, well, I don't care about the warranty anyway, and so this way the cost up front is going to be a little less, but that's going to be your differences. It's people running around.
Just to clarify, I know a little bit about the roofing part. The GAF, if the guys, your company is GAF certified roofers.
Yeah.
they could take a 20-year shingle and it automatically bumps up to a 50-year.
Correct.
warranty.
Yeah.
So you can buy a 15-year shingle and it'll bump up to a 50-year warranty just by having a JAF certified.
Because the
roof.
installers know exactly how they.
Yeah.
Correct. So
Yeah, the shingle doesn't change. It's the quality of the people installing it is what they measure those warranties off of.
The warranty's very misleading, though, isn't it?
So, I mean, to some degree.
My roof needs to be replaced in 20 years. It's not like I'm getting a free roof.
But it might not need to be replaced. In this region, we're going to get usually around 20 years. There's the moisture consideration, the type of weather that you're dealing with. But there's a good chance that if you don't have trees, you don't get that northeast region like an algae type of growth and that, and it's just good sun exposure and not too extreme, not too hot, not too cold. It could go to 50 years untouched.
That's not relevant with respect to the warranty.
Well, the warranties that GAF covers is the material of the shingles. So, like, if the shingle itself is seen as failing, that's a free replacement in that world
50 years.
for 50 years.
So if my roof is 40 years old and my shingle fails, they're going to come out and replace my roof.
They're gonna inspect to see, was it a failure on the shingle itself, or were you walking on, putting up Christmas lights, putting some sort of chemical like, yeah.
But I guess my point is that, I mean, no roof is going to last 40, 50 years. I mean,
In a perfect,
They only
yeah.
talk about the materials, by the way. They're not talking about the labor.
And on top of it, a lot of that after 20 years, I believe, goes into a proration. So you might be 40 years in, they're only covering 10% of the materials. So,
Yeah,
but
none of
you
the-
have a 50-year
and none of the
warranty.
labor. And I also know that they know you can only transfer it once.
Yes.
And average, this house is sell every 7 years, so you're basically 14 years you're off the hook.
For the most part, yeah. The amount of people that reach up to that point and it comes up is so few and far between because people move, life changes. One big extreme weather incident could be a change of factor. Your insurance company might say, hey, like that was from hail, so it's like it's
So like most
covered.
warranties, basically it's here, it's not really ever getting.
Yeah, I mean, and most of the times, like a lot of the warranty stuff in any type of industry is if it failed within the first like 60 days, obviously it's like it's covered. But like if you make it past those first 60 days, like things just are generally good. It's a quality check at the end of the day.
Find out fast if you mess
Yeah, it's like a lemon law in cars type of thing. Like either it fails instantly or no, it's probably going to run 200,000 miles. So you'll make it.
I know windows like fell up, they would give you a full 20-year warranty, 100%. But I mean, after that, after 20 years, you're on your own.
Yeah.
It's a full 20-year warranty, to replace the whole thing, labor, everything.
Right, okay.
But that's probably not even offered out there.
Yeah, and like our labor runs up to 20 years, so we'll hold up. If you get the warranty for the 20 or 50 years type of thing with GAF, we're gonna match that with at least 20 years going up to. We come in, we replace it. We installed it improperly. That's on us type of thing. We should have addressed this before. We should have set it so that the water ran differently off the roof, and clearly it's just one area that we messed up on. So we would cover those type of factors. Yeah.
So does the client get a choice of the type of windows they want if you're coming out and replacing the windows?
Yeah, we work with a lot of distributors. So like we have Pella, we have Anderson. I think there's one more that we have, but I don't recall off the top of my head what it was. Probably Marvin. So yeah, like, and that all comes down to like, I'm always disappointed that most of the places always just choose the same gray roof, beige siding. Like there's nothing exciting in these things, but that's always, it becomes the cheapest. And then by being the cheapest, it's the most popular. And then by being the most popular, it becomes even cheaper. And so it's just in that cycle of every house looks the same to me.
So if you're replacing the siding on my house,
I'll get him. Yeah.
Minute warning.
No, I pushed.
Okay. Yeah.
if they're replacing the siding on my house
Mhm.
and taking off the siding, they see a lot of rot on the wood.
Sure.
Do you guys follow through with that also, or do you stop?
We make you aware. We'll probably offer different options that we can do with it. If we physically can't build into it, we would set up something temporary so that it's not getting more damage into the house. We can replace.
Out to get another contractor, or you guys?
If it's framework, we would have to send it out to some other general contractor or someone within that thing. If it's something that we can deal with, where it was just like, yeah, more of the sheeting, we could handle that. Like, we will handle plywood, we will handle sheeting, both on the roof and both on the siding. Like, yeah, and asbestos is one that comes up a lot in our PA side, is that they have the asbestos in the walls over there. So we've had to deal with that, and you have the option of removal. Again, that's going to be removed by somebody else, or covering, and that would be covered by somebody else, type of thing. So yeah, we've come across it. We offer everyone options, and it's good to know what your house has before you kind of lean into those things. A quick inspection usually tells you like what to expect and where we might run into issues, but you remove things, we're seeing new things just at the same time as you are. So that'll come up. Yep. Cool. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Your drone work is very good.
Thank you.
Are you getting up on the roof?
So yeah, that's me getting up on the roofs with these ones. This was the commercial property that we did. This was 2 banks. The one building was built in like 1887, I think. It was a school that they converted into an office building and then eventually into a bank for Phoenixville Federal. And so that was like a little, again, once we pulled off the shingles, we realized, oh, we're dealing with a different type of, instead of just plywood boards that we're going into, it was that lathing kind of style that they have. And so that's just like, now we have to do things a little differently. But we did it. That was a 2-day project, and they were able to get it done. So
Just for clarification, you do all of New Jersey and Pennsylvania?
all of New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, and Northern Virginia.